In this video, we're going to take a look at the sales pipeline. There won't be too much talk about technology in this one. It's important to understand why the pipeline is a useful concept, how it helps us keep individual opportunities on track, what it looks like when you lose control of a deal versus being consistent and disciplined. At the same time, you shouldn't get lost inside your own internal processes. So at the end, we'll wrap up with a tip on how to stay focused on the customer. The pipeline is a tried and tested way of managing the sales process, and I think of it as having two big benefits. The first being that it works at a higher frequency than just reporting revenue. A sales team is driving and responding to events day by day and week by week. If you have an overall process that takes, say, 5 months to complete, in the high energy environment, sales doesn't make sense to only measure performance at the end of those 5 months. If you can manage a process where a potential deal that starts in January has made clear progress by February, you'll be doing okay. But if you couldn't expect an update before May, you'd have real problems. The day-to-day experience of working in go-to-market therefore revolves around the individual stages of the sales pipeline. The second significant benefit is that it helps you hone in on the question of how we can turn a potential deal into a real signed contract. That move from $4 to $2 represents a conversion rate from qualified opportunities to active evaluations. And it's much easier to think about, say, why only 45% of our new opportunities are converting to trials than it would be to ask why are only 20% getting all of the way through to close. For an intuitive example, just think about going to the supermarket. The financial measure is how much did the people walking through the door pay once they got to the till? But you wouldn't just measure the start and end of the process like that. To make decisions that are going to make a difference, you would be thinking about things like the layout of the store, product promotions, and so on, both for the individual customer journey and for the aggregate overall picture. The sales pipeline typically breaks down then into around 5 to 7 stages. You'll see variations in the exact names and number of stages, but the fundamental concepts stay very consistent in practice. We'll look at each stage in more detail in separate videos, but it goes like this. Demand generation and qualification are about generating new opportunities. Needs analysis and evaluation are about turning these opportunities into solutions that people are ready to pay for. Negotiation and closed are about handling final concerns, wrapping up commercial discussions, and so on. And from closed to renew or expand is all about keeping the customer. For most businesses, profitability being dependent on the customer coming back for more. For you as an individual, work life is a lot easier when you have existing relationships that build on prior success. What we are trying to achieve is a flywheel effect. The go-to-market machine works best when there is a healthy pace and volume of opportunities going through the pipeline. Ultimately, the challenge is that we cannot control the customer. What we can control is our own actions where we focus our attention. If we can be consistent and disciplined across multiple opportunities, if we can build momentum, if we can reduce the friction of working with customers, especially unpredictable customers, then we are in a good position to succeed. We'll finish up by turning the whole thing around and thinking from the customer perspective. The customer does not care about our process. They will resent naive or arrogant demands that they should make their decision according to our process. So does that mean we are setting ourselves up in opposition to their interests? Well, if we're being smart as a sales team, absolutely not. We should be thinking about the customer's buying process, not just our selling process. The buying process, in fact, bears a lot of similarities. They have a lot of options at the start. They will narrow it down to a short list, spend more time investigating that shortlist, and make a final decision from a shortlist of 2 or 3. There will be multiple people or teams impacted by the decision. There's going to be a financial approval process to work through. There's going to be people insisting the money be spent differently. So one of the signs of a great sales team is an ability to consistently understand the buyer's process, to build up their champions, to give them what they need to get things done on their side. And if you can do that, you will find them much more open to aligning to your process and sharing the information that you need to get results. In the next videos in this series, we'll look at the individual stages and what's involved. It should be a lot more practical than all the theory so far. So thanks for watching. My name is John Walls, and I've worked as a technologist for over 20 years, helping tech companies bring their products to market. I also make videos about it, especially the roles, the tools, and the techniques available to the scientists, technologists, and engineers involved. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.